Okay. Yes, Dr. Lena, can you confirm that my PPT is visible at your end?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. So as I already said, I will be talking about these massive open online courses, and I will share a standard framework that how to develop a course that can be in future with a very reputed one and the quality one. So what specifically I will discuss during this course, let me just check out those points. So we will discuss that how to plan for a MOOC course from scratch. Of course, I will also talk about what exactly the MOOC means, when any course will be called as a MOOC, that I will discuss with you. Then what is the structure of MOOC course on SWAM platform, that how many videos, how much content you have to develop, that we will discuss. Then how to plan for pre-production stage of MOOC development, because we know that we have to develop the videos. Then what is this entire process of developing the videos, that I will share with you. Then is there anything after the videos that we have to do, that I will discuss with you. Then how to market your MOOC course so that you can have maximum restrictions, and the completion rate for your course, that I will also share with you. And finally, how to deliver a MOOC course on SWAM platform. Not only on SWAM platform, if there is any platform available other than the SWAM, then how to go for this one, how to manage the course when actually we are delivering the course on such platforms. Okay, and lastly, what are the best tools available, that those tools will help you in creation of the MOOCs. Okay, I will start with this quote. Now, she's one of the co-founders of Coursera, right? Devin Caller. So she said, not recently, but many years back, she said that the tsunami of MOOCs is coming, whether we like it or not. The way we are thinking about the online teaching, we like it, not like it, but you can be crushed or you can be served, and it is better to serve. The simple meaning of this quotation is that whatever change is going to happen, or right now it is happening, we have to adapt that change. Rather than criticizing online teaching, criticizing online courses, you will see because the future is there in these online courses. And we have to prepare ourselves, that are we ready to face the future education if we have the proper skills, because ultimately we are going to switch to the MOOCs. And many of the universities, they are already going for the MOOC courses, and they are delivering to very distant places, right? So I have noted down this data, and it will clearly indicate that in which direction our education system is going on. Now, see here, it is just in 2019, I have just found the list of the courses, or the list of new users, those who are coming online and they are completing their courses. And I have just taken three platforms here. Coursera, one of the leader in this online platform or online education, followed by edX and the Future Learn. Of course, there are many other platforms available, but look at these figures. I think these figures in itself are telling the story. You see here, in 1 year, the Coursera number of students, they have gone many times. I think it is around 4 times increased in just 1 year. The reason is obvious, that it is because of the COVID there. But this trend is going to be there, because now people have tasted that how easy it is if I'm completing the courses online in my environment as per my convenience. And of course, when most of the institution or other educational organization, they are shut up, and then we are switching to these platforms. And this is just a clear indication that in which direction we are going on. And in the coming years, you will see now these MOOC courses, online courses, they are so popular that everybody is, you can say, thinking about to start their own courses. Not only on this Coursera, edX, or SWAM. You see, there are even on YouTube, even on other platform like Odyssey is there. You can say Teachable platform is there. So many people are there making millions of rupees when they are starting their online courses, online coaching there. And you see in the coming 5 years, this is just a beginning, and you will see in the coming 5 years, you will see this industry is going to be there, that maximum people will come to this area of online teaching, online coaching, because now we have experienced that everything is even the yoga classes, your coding classes, everything is switching to the online. Before I making these claims, I'm I'm nowhere saying that our traditional education will switch to our entirely to the online, because we have already seen that what are the result of switching entirely our traditional system to the online. The traditional system is going to be there, but this is an add-on. You see, in future, the workshop like this, the lecture we are conducting, I don't think that these colleges, universities, they will be inviting the person in physical and then he or she will deliver the lecture. At least these workshops, short-term courses, certificate courses, right? They are going to be there. Of course, we are going back to our traditional college in the physical mode, but we learned a lot during this period. That, and you see, the things which were supposed to happen in the coming 10 years or 15 years, right? Right now, these things are happening. Just tell me that even just before the COVID, we didn't think about that we will take conduct the workshop online, we will conduct the sessions online. But nowadays it is just a routine. Just a routine, and it's a part of your entire course design, that you will invite few people and they will deliver the sessions online. Okay, now this is just, and look at this one more data statistics here, that how many students are there who are learning their skills or learning about various concepts or topics online, and how many universities are involved in this online content creation, how many courses are there, how many MOOC based degrees are there, right? So even in India, you will see shortly UGC is going to offer, or rather they have floated that you can offer online courses, certificate courses, but they have you can say have given this permission to only few of the universities who are fulfilling certain criteria, that okay, you can start your own courses without any permission, you can start your own degrees without any permission here. So in India, it is slowly you can say also entering to the MOOC courses. So I think in the last 10-15 minutes, I use the MOOC many times. But exactly what is MOOC? If I will record a video and I will put it on YouTube, will it be called as a MOOC? Or MOOC has different dimensions, or you can say different rules and regulations which we have to follow. Only then our course will be called as a MOOC. Yes, of course, it is different from just recording the videos and putting or uploading these videos to the YouTube, or just giving the live lecture. It is different from that. So it's an online course aimed at, first thing, large scale interactive participation, because many people, they even argue, they even criticize that in MOOC courses there are so many participants. How are you handling those participants? If I will give you my example of digital marketing, in the last run, there were more than 13,000 students were there in this very course. But I think we didn't face any problem to handle 13,000 14,000 students in that course, because we have it's only videos. One person is watching the video, or 10,000 are watching the videos. It is one and the same thing. But of course, yes, we have to involve them in the discussion. We have to respond to their queries. For this purpose, you have the support will be there. So MOOC is basically, it is for anyone. You can't set that this is the basic eligibility criteria. Only those people can enter to this MOOC. Anyone, it is open for anyone. In your course, there can be a student from learner from corporate world. It can be from a school. It can be a university teacher. Anybody can join that course if it is a MOOC course. And of course, it is anywhere, and it is anytime, right? It's not bound in the proper timetable setting. You just release the content for 1 week, and it depends on the participant. Whenever he feel convenient, then he can just go for the content. which you have put up there in the course. So these are the big differences are there, and it's a full-fledged course. The way we are teaching it in the classes, yes, we will involve the students in the discussion forums. We will give the assignments, we will have the quizzes, and we will announce the results. It is something like that one. It's not only just upload the video and forget about this one. The way we are continuously involved in our physical courses, physical subjects, same way we have to involve in the MOOC courses as well. We have to see what students are doing there. Is there any problem? That solution I have to provide. What are they discussing? Though every time I have to be on toes when my MOOC course is there running on the platform. Right? So this is the major difference in simple video and a MOOC course. It's a full-fledged course, just equivalent to our physical courses. Okay, now just it's not a very old term that from where this MOOC term has been originated. It is just in 2008 only when these two gentlemen they just coined this term of massive open online courses, where they found that or they aimed that we will involve the maximum people in our courses. We will talk about this one why there is a need for MOOC courses, especially in India. But 2000 and 2011, this is the first course, first MOOC that was launched, Introduction to Artificial Intelligence. And even today, the artificial intelligence is very hot topic, and you will find that in thousands of learners are going for these artificial intelligence courses. But in this one, in the very first run, there were 160,000 learners were there, and out of them, 20,000 completed this very course. So I'm just giving you a bit background of the MOOC courses so that you understand the entire framework where we have to work, right? And these are the few of the platforms which I hope you are quite familiar with this one, like Coursera is there, Udacity is there, edX is there, and this is an Indian Coursera. I always call it Indian Coursera, that is the SWAM, right? Although their Intel is there, but SWAM is the one of the leading platform sponsored by the government of India, where you will find all the courses free of cost, and these courses are from the universities. Now, what is the major difference? You see in Audacity is there. In Audacity, anybody can start the course. Even a housewife can start an online course, right? And but here in SWAM, why I say that it's a better platform vis-a-vis other platforms are concerned. So this SWAM platform is directly related with the university education system. First thing that only university credit system, right? I think there is not any platform there worldwide that is connected with the credit system. But SWAM is the platform where students can earn the credits. I will talk about what does it mean earning a credit and how this can be useful in our education system. So this is Indian system, but I will talk about it in detail because ultimately we have to deal with the SWAM platform. Whether I have to apply for the courses, I have to run for the courses, I have to develop for the courses. So everything we will revolve, or our MOOC courses are revolving around the SWAM platform. So I will talk about this one. These are the few more platforms similar to the Coursera or others, but let's proceed further. Now let's come to the reality, right? So one major reason that why in India that there should be, you can say, digitalization of the education system, or we should switch to the online courses. So this data, this report says so many things about India's, you can say, readiness as far as online courses are concerned, right? So see here, it is this report by Cisco. They just talk about the internet penetration, right? And whenever today we are talking about online education, I think the major hurdle, the major challenge which all of us are facing, that is the internet penetration. Although in Chandigarh or around Chandigarh, we have very good connectivity, but we always take our decisions based on the what is the scenario in the rural areas. But of course, we have to admit it that in India, as of now, the connectivity is there, but the speed is a matter of concern. Right? Can we go live in the rural areas? Can our rural student access to our courses or live session? That is a major problem. But hope is always there, because earlier maybe the government was not very much concerned about setting off this infrastructure in the rural areas. But now I think recently, if you have listened to our communication and broadcasting minister, so they are mainly focusing on the rural connectivity, right? So that we can have the higher speed in the rural areas as well. But it shows that we are progressing forward, and this data in itself says so many things, right? In 2013 we were just 239 million user in India, but now, as per this report, it is projected that by the end of 2023, we will be 900 million users. It is approximately the 66% of population of India that will be connected through the internet. And 66, if you talk about the students, then of course the percentage will be very high in that case. So we can't just take a back step just by saying that in India internet penetration is not there, so the online education, online courses will not be successful in India. But you see that our achievements as far as our internet is concerned. So, and in the days to come you will see that more speed, more internet connectivity will be there in the rural areas. And this is, I always very happy to see when this type of data is always there, that we are the second largest country in the world as far as number of internet users are concerned, just next to the China, and we are ahead of US as well. So internet problem is there, but we can't say that it is going to be there. But it is soon in the coming year, it will be, we will cover up, you can say 80-85% penetration in India. Then, but we have to prepare right now. We have to learn that how to deliver this online education or how to deliver these online courses. We have to prepare ourselves. Right? So now question comes, why do we need MOOCs in India? Because many people, they say that MOOCs will take up all the job openings, job vacancies. There will be, earlier we are facing, already we are facing the unemployment. Then if there are online courses, MOOC courses are there, then somewhere it will create the problem. But yes, of course, every anything new is coming, it has pro and cons, right? And if you go to the banking history, those who have done the PhD in the banking area, they must have read somewhere that when first time calculators were introduced in the banking system, the banking unions also criticize that. They say, okay, कैलकुलेटर आ गया यार, ये तो एक बंदे का इतना काम कर देता है, सो इससे तो हमारी जॉब भी चली जाएगी. Similarly, when computers were there, again hue and cry was there कि computers आ गए, हमारी जॉब चली जाएगी. Similar same thing is happening here कि अगर MOOCs आ गए तो हमारी जॉब चली जाएंगी, आगे जॉब्स नहीं होगी. But look at other way around. Any new technology that comes, it brings so many other opportunities as well, right? So we should not think from that point of view, because the change, if it is change is there, it will happen. You can't stop it, right? Rather we have to change ourselves, right? So major reason, now see here why I'm saying that we should go for new MOOC development, because we already have seen that we have very outdated subjects and the curriculum in the traditional education system. And you tell me, if you want to start a new course, I think nowadays colleges, they are more going for vocational courses, and how difficult it is just to get it approved, because it will take 2 to 3 years to start a new course. Even I wanted to start a course in the university on digital marketing, but again, so many meetings, so many committees are there. By the time it is getting approved, you see that the curriculum which you planned 1 or 2 years back, then that is outdated. So it means कि if in case of MOOCs that similarly on the SWAM, if I want to apply for a new course on SWAM, there is only one signature that required from the university. No meeting, nothing else is there. You apply to the registrar will sign, and that will go to the SWAM. It's not that first it will go to UBS and then they will say it, they will decide, they will send it back. It's not like that way. So to initiate or to start a MOOC is an easy process, and it's not very time consuming process to start with this one. You see, we have so many new areas are coming up, and you see that from these new courses, new areas, how many courses we are actually offering. I think even in the Punjab University, we are not having a course on artificial intelligence, right? We are not having a course on big data analytics. But ये big data analytics, artificial intelligence ऐसा नहीं कि आज ही शुरू हुए हैं. These are 4 5 years back, or these things were started. But as of now, see, your artificial intelligence is not there. But you go to the any in Chandigarh, you search for artificial intelligence courses, you will find few private players are there. They are offering the courses. Even the private universities are there. They are offering these courses there. But I think if we are in the public sector, then if any new idea is there, I want to start a new course, then I have only thing that I can go with the MOOC courses, right? So same way, even in the Punjab University, we are not having a certificate course on digital marketing, but another route we have on through the MOOCs, this course is there. Okay, and are we ready for new skills? Because this is the list, LinkedIn list, 2020 list, that how many, what are the new skills in demand? And are we catering to these skills through our education system or not? Now, see here, blockchain, everybody is talking about blockchain. Do we have any course on blockchain? At least university is concerned, we are not having any course on blockchain, cloud computing, analytical reasoning, artificial intelligence. But you search the Coursera, you search the edX platform, you will find lot many courses on these technologies. Even you search the SWAM, you will find there is a course on artificial intelligence. There may be course on blockchain there. So in our traditional system, it is very difficult to you can say start a new course, right? We have to convince to the other those who are having no knowledge about these courses. If I want to start a blockchain course, then I have to convince those people who know nothing about blockchain that what is this one. So this is what happening. But here, as I'm saying, we have the different route here. Through the MOOCs, I can start my blockchain, I can start my artificial intelligence courses there. This is the one of the reason that is there. Another, that why do we need MOOC courses? That all the students, they can't study from the best faculty in India or abroad. This is the reality in India, that everybody can't go to the IIMs, everybody can't go to IITs, but we can learn from the faculty, because there are courses from IIM, there are courses from IIT, from the best faculty, but we can join those courses even free of cost, and anybody can learn from them. Okay? So in this way, you will see the best resources can be used as far as the progress of India is concerned. Because I always think that if I'm here at UBS, at any example, let us say X professor is there at UBS and he seems to be expert in one area, then see in a year how many students he is teaching. Or maybe if I will take a example of 150 students I'm teaching in a year, right? In my subject, let us say 150. So it means in throughout my life, if I will say 30-year career, right? Then throughout my life, how many how many students I will teach? You can see this number. And if I am online, because why I'm saying, because we have those skills, we have those skills, we have that knowledge, and we everybody, because even in our traditional books, old books, it is everywhere written that you have to share your knowledge. Then why should I share my knowledge to 150 students only, or just you can say 1500 students throughout my academic career? When I know, then why not to share it with others, right? So this way that the MOOC courses will help you to serve the society better. because now I'm not claiming it. I'm just giving you an example. If I can just teach to 13,000 students in one semester, it means I'm best utilizing what I know. That is why I'm sharing it with others rather than just limiting it to 150 students only. So this is another reason that why not to share the best resources available, intellectuals available in the country with the others. Right? So that will give you another reason or a motivation to go for MOOC courses. Okay, then of course the cost efficient, and you can upskill, you can learn new skills, then you go for the MOOC courses. And when I'm saying the cost efficient, it's rather it's free of cost, because I developed these two courses, digital marketing, the other is on social media marketing, and these courses are free of cost. So yes, so many people are there learning, they are developing their skills on these recent upcomings in the marketing in the form of digital marketing. So this is what we need it. We need it in India, that it's not a everybody's cup of tea to pay these high fees and then learn. So if we know something, I think we should offer it. We should offer it to the world. So now let's switch to come to the point here, because we have to ultimately develop our MOOC course, because that I promised with you that I will share the entire process, starting from application, that how to go about this one. But we all know about this platform, which is because we have to deal with this platform, SWAM. Just started in 2017 only, and I hope that everybody must have heard about this SWAM platform. Okay. Now, the important thing about to understand this SWAM platform, it's not that you can apply anywhere on the SWAM. Actually, there are, I think, 9 national coordinators. Because I'm just talking about, let us say if something is there in your mind and you want to develop a course on that particular topic or subject of your interest, then it's not that you can apply anywhere on the SWAM. The very first thing you have to identify that to which national coordinator you have to deal with or you have to apply for. There, as I said, there are 9 national coordinators. ये number थोड़ा change हो सकता है. So they every national coordinator have a different set of audience, right? Like you can say this IMBM is there from the IM Bangalore. So they are just catering the management courses, right? NCRT, they are just taking care of the school education, right? But as far as our college, university teachers are concerned, so earlier there were these two. One is the CEC, Consortium for Educational Communication, and another we have the UGC. But a year back, this CEC was handling all your graduate courses. Graduate courses. Any graduate course you want to develop, non-technical course, then you have to reach to the CEC. All PG courses, non-technical PG courses, then you have to go to the UGC. But I think since the last year, now UGC is not applying or not taking the applications for PG courses. So here, even for the UG course or PG courses, you have to go to the CEC. In nutshell, I can say that CEC is our national coordinator. We have to apply to the CEC if we want to have the funding or you can say course, any course from this one, whether it is a graduate course or postgraduate course is there. So rest of the things, I think we need not to worry about this one because they are not related with us. But remember this one, CEC. CEC is our national coordinator where we will apply. Right. Okay. Now it is now you can say it's a mandatory, not a mandatory. It is under the rules and regulation that any university can offer up to 20% of the total courses through the MOOC courses, and they can earn the credit. Now, what does it mean when I'm saying this 20%, although this figure has now enhanced to the 40%? What does it mean here? It simply means, let us say in my college, right? In my college, there are 10 subjects are there, right? 10 subjects are there, but we are not able to find the faculty for one course. right? So we have faculty for all the courses. What one course is there, let us say you started any new course, artificial intelligence or digital marketing, where the faculty is not there, but it's a part of your curriculum. Now, what will happen? In this case, you can just go to the SWAM. You can just go to the SWAM and ask your students to register for the course which is here, which is for which the faculty is not there. So they will register. So obviously, this course is not that individuals are running. This every course on SWAM platform is supported or backed by the university, right? So it is, you have to talk in terms of the university. You will say join the digital marketing course of this XY university, right? So your students will join this course, and there will be proper examination, assignment, everything will be there. And once your students will successfully complete that course, now this university which is offering this course on SWAM, it will transfer the 4 credits or 2 credits to your students. And your students, it will be in your mark sheet, it will be mentioned that, okay, they have completed this course or completed these credits from this very university. And I can give our own universities example. There are many university in India, those who have selected this digital marketing course as a credit system. So there are thousands of students are coming to the SWAM. They are completing the course and they're clearing the test, which is there at the end. And Punjab University is transferring the credit, and they can legally they're writing it in their DMC that, okay, we have completed this course, we have completed these credits. No, I think there is no other platform in the world which offer you such type of facility that you can transfer the credits. But here it is possible. Earlier it was 20%, but now UGC has issued that 40% courses can be offered through this one. But it is not that we should offer 40%. Still, that debate is going on. Is it a good idea to go for 40%? Offer 40% online, 60% offline, but debate is there. But university UGC has made it clear, or UGC has asked the session on this one, that what are your views on this one? Should we offer 40% or not? But I think if there are new courses, what many of the colleges, what are they doing? They are just adding 1 or 2 additional courses in their curriculum. They are not looking for the faculty, that we have to recruit the faculty for these new courses. But for example, course on artificial intelligence is there, any web designing course is there, they are not recruiting the faculty. They are simply asking them, go on SWAM and complete this course and you will earn the certificate and we will add it to your DMC, right? So that way they are working on this one. Okay, so it means everything is changing around us, and we have to be very careful that are we changing ourselves or not, right? So we should not stick only to the traditional education. Even in the blended system, there is a lot of hue and cries there, that why UGC is going for 40%, right? So, but if the things are changing, we have to change ourselves, right? So I'm just quoting this John F. Kennedy statement, that change is the law of life, and those who look only to the past and present are certain to miss the future. It means we have to look for that what is going to happen in the future. We have to look for that as well, rather than just criticizing, right? And the measure of intelligence is the ability to change. How quickly you can change yourself, according to Einstein, that is the measure of your intelligence, how intelligent we are. Right? So it means one thing is clear, that we have to change, right? We have to change ourselves. We have to prepare ourselves to the future. So it means, I said so many things about MOOC, why these are important. Now, the second phase is about that what is the framework. If let us say you are interested to develop the MOOC courses, you are ready to change yourself, you are ready to come out from your comfort zone, then what is the framework for that? So I will list down here few of the steps. I am starting it from zero. Let us say today only came to know about that MOOCs are there and we have to develop a MOOC. So this framework has different steps, like how to select a topic, or how to prepare for instructional design, how to select a course team, how to submit a proposal, then how to produce the course, posting of the course, and the promotion of the course, and the delivery of the course. These are the simple steps, and I will be talking about these steps one by one so that nothing is skipped. Okay, now first thing, it comes to the selection of topic. I think we first thing, the first problem which we are facing, that we are not able to decide that on which topic I will develop a MOOC. So there is a very simple rule. You have to develop you have to develop a MOOC course in a topic in which you are, or on a topic in which you are expert, right? Don't try in कि कोई भी नया topic, fancy सा topic लगा आपको, and you think, okay, I will develop the course. Until or unless the passion is not there, expertise is not there, you should not go for those type of topics or topics for these MOOC courses. So for this purpose, you have to have it online research, because you have to see what is already available on your course. I want to develop on digital marketing, social media marketing. So I will search exclusively on SWAM that whether this course is available there or not. Because this was the rule, but now I think they have changed it. You can modify the title. Earlier, this was the rule that only one course is allowed on a title or a topic under one national coordinator. If somebody else has, if digital marketing is already there, if you want to go for digital marketing, then you can't, right? Because this topic is already registered. This title is already registered, just like your PhD title. You can't, but you can modify it. You can slightly change it. This one, and this is the website. Right? I will share this PPT with you. This is the website that you can use to search for how many courses are there on SWAM platform. It will give you an idea whether my course is already there or not, in which you want to develop a course. Okay, then again, this is UGC MOOCs site is there. It will give you the complete list of the courses. Then this is the CEC. You can also take the help of CEC website. Here you can also explore that what all courses are being offered on the SWAM platform or not. If this course is not there, then it's a good time. And another important thing, because you have to act very fast, because now UGC has linked this development of these MOOC courses with our API system, right? With our API system. And you know that what happens when anything is linked to the API, what we did to the journals, what we did to the conferences, workshop, we know the story, right? And now these online courses are also linked to the API, and you see everybody wants that I should develop the course. So जितना आप delay करोगे इसको, you will see that your courses are being taken up by others. So it's the right time, select the course and just go for this one, apply for these courses. Otherwise, किसी और ने ले लिया, तो then you have to modify it slightly. Okay, now another thing, yes, it should be topic of your interest. That matters a lot, because ultimately you will work passionately if it is of your interest. If the topic is not of your interest, आपने वैसे ही just for the sake of developing a MOOC course आपने ये ले लिया, so then it will be very difficult. It's very, very difficult. So I'm just giving you my examples only, because I can't give you the better example than this one, because I developed two courses. One is for SWAM and another is for Commonwealth of Learning Canada. So these both courses, one is on digital marketing, another is on social media marketing. And I think if I like any area, any domain, that is this digital marketing. So, and I passionately and without any problem, without any trouble, I develop these courses. Only thing, because I was having the interest in this area. Okay. Now, another important thing that you have to decide at this stage, that will you offer a credit course or non-credit course, right? So, but as of now, I think on SWAM, they had discontinued with the non-credit course. So all courses are the credit courses. Means that your university will sponsor that course. University will transfer the credits of that course if it is there on SWAM platform, right? But how many credits are there? So maximum we can offer, even 6 credit courses are also available on SWAM, but usually if we say in one semester course, if we are taking full course, right, then it is having the 44 credit course, right? But you can offer 3 credit, 2 credit course. But will it matter? Somewhere it is going to influence further my funding or other sort of stuff. Yes, because ultimately when your topic is selected from the CEC that you want to develop this course, then CEC will fund you. CEC will give you the grant to develop the course. It's not that you have to spend it from your pocket. So grant is 13.5 lakh, right? 13.5 lakh to develop a 4 credit course, right? Obviously, if you will go 3-2, then it will be proportionately reduced. It will be proportionately reduced accordingly. So I think it is better to go for 4 credits course. And similarly, your own honorarium and lot many things they have decided on the basis of the credits. Your honorarium will be reduced accordingly if you are offering 2 or 3 courses. It is better to offer a 4 course credit course. But to understand it better, that how much work I have to done, if or how much work or how much labor I have to put if I have a 4 credit course. Right? So you can have little bit idea from here that if you are offering a 4 credit course, then there are 40 modules. Under the 4 credit course, you have to divide your course into 40 modules. 40 modules here mean the 40 topics, right? And this course will be spread over 15 weeks if it is a 4 credit course. And similarly, you have to produce the 20 hours video. I think this is the best estimation that how much work I have to do here. In this case, you have to develop the 24 hours, 20 hours video content for 4 credit course. It simply means for one module, you have to divide your topics in such a way that you will develop half an hour video for that one. But it's not only the video, there are other things as well that will be part of one module, like your quizzes can be there, written material can be there, like this one. Okay. So 40 hours video, keep this thing in, this is the benchmark, right? This is that how much work you have to do for the 4 credit course. But we will further split it, that how to work on this one. So now I think it's clear. Topic selection, credits, and how many hours of video recording are required for 4 credits. Okay. Now, next thing is you have to prepare the instructional design. Okay, it's not instruction design, it's the instructional design. Instructional design is just like a synopsis, just like. Okay, can you give me just 1 minute, because I see a lot of disturbances there. Just give me one minute. Okay, sorry for interruption. So now I was just talking about the instructional design. Instructional design is just like जैसे आप PhD करते हो ना, कि आपने synopsis बनाने होते हैं, and in the synopsis we have every plan that how we will complete our PhD. Similarly, for this course, you have to prepare the instructional design or a course plan, that what exactly you will cover under the course. I'm just showing you ये what is this, इसमें include क्या कुछ करना है हमने. Please don't think we will develop and simultaneously we will work on these things. This is the homework that you have to do even before you are applying for this project, applying for the course for the funding purpose. So you should do it because it's required. It is required, and moreover, it will be very easy for you when you will actually develop the course, because things are not clear. How many modules, what is the content is there, every detail you should be there on the paper. So instructional design is just a systematic design, development and implementation of efficient and effective instructional solution for the purpose of improving the learning performance. And we have to share it with our students as well, that what exactly they will be getting from this course. Okay, now what you have to include. There are in a particular course or in an instructional design, what are the important things which you have to include or you have to plan for, you have to work for. So basically there are four quadrants, or you can say the four dimensions are there for every MOOC on which we have to work, we have to think, we have to plan for that one. The first is the quadrant one is about the video content. Right? It is about the video content. We will talk about it in detail. There can be audio or animations can be there, but prominently in SWAM courses, under quadrant one, we have this video content. Right? So we will see how many videos. Now you can say that there can be only one video for one topic. It's not that way, right? So actually it is just is 5 to 7 minutes video. It's not, if you have to deliver under one topic 30 minutes video, so you can't say that, okay, I will record 30 minutes video. No, you should divide 30 minutes into small chunks. For example, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, 4 or 5 videos you have to plan for one topic, right? Okay, we will talk about this one. Then the second quadrant about which you have to make the planning, it's the e-content. E-content is there that other than the video, because it's not only they will watch it, it's just like a classroom, it's just like a traditional course. You will give something them to read about this one. It can be a case study, handout, anything, or any web resources. It can be ppts, transcripts of your videos. So it all comes under the quadrant 2. It means you have to plan that what additional readings I will offer to the student for a particular topic, that you have to plan along with the videos. The third thing is about the assessment activities. Of course, assessment is essential component. And in MOOC courses, we have to go with this one. So you have to see how many quizzes, how many questions, what assessment activity I will go for particular topic, and of course, the assignments. Then the quadrant fourth is the discussion forum. So we can't leave the student that they have just joined and they will complete it. So there are discussion forums, and you can just float few of the topics for discussion, or whatever their queries are there, you have to reply back to those queries. Although there is a support, you will be given additional manpower to handle the discussion forum queries under the UGC projects, but it's essential component for this one. Okay, now see here. This I already talked about, that 4 credit course you have to develop. Now see here, you have to just remember this thing that again, if I'm talking about the videos, I'm talking about the e-content, I have to talking about the quizzes, then what is the simple, you can say, distribution of the time. So usually we offer the week by courses. As I said, it's a 15-week course, usually accepted format on SWAM for a 4 credit course. So yes, you will prepare intro video for the week, that in this week we are going to do this. It's just a 2 to 3 minutes introduction video of the week. And then you will prepare the content videos, roughly 4 videos, that is the 7 to 8 minutes per module, right? This is what you have to you can say produce. E-content is approximately 3,000 words. It's written there in the guidelines. It is written there in the guidelines that 3,000 write-up is required. It's not that it is always from your side that you have to write everything. No, you can write just 1 page, and you can offer open educational resources or any other relevant resource which you think is relevant in context of your topic. You can offer that one, but they have set the limit of 3,000 words. Then the quizzes, then you can include 5 graded questions, non-graded questions. It is entirely up to you that how you want to plan, but I usually offer at the end of the topic 5 graded questions. They will be part of internal assessment. 5 non-graded questions will not be the part of internal assessment, right? So this you have to decide, and then you have to have the week summary, 2 to 3 minutes week summary you have to prepare. right? So this is the content that for a particular week, that how much work you have to done. Now, when you're working on the instructional design, right? So what you have to include? You have to include what is the description of the course, what are the learning outcomes. Now, I will stop with for a while here. Learning outcomes. Sometimes we just see it as a formality when we are preparing a curriculum or anything. We just look at this learning outcome is just a formality, or course objectives just a formality. But you see, whenever your proposal will be evaluated, the more focus will be here. Don't leave it that it is just a formality. You have to be very specific. You should learn the methodology of writing the learning outcomes or learning objectives. I think you know about those people who are from education. There is a Bloom's taxonomy. Bloom taxonomy is there. You have to use the appropriate verbs, that whether it is understanding purpose, application purpose. You can go for this one in detail there, but be very careful when you are writing the learning outcomes of your course, because this can be the deciding factor. अगर आपको हम उसके वर्ब ऐसे यूज किए हमने एलोस में हमारे, सो हमें पता ही नहीं है कि ये एप्लीकेशन का वर्ब है, अंडरस्टैंडिंग का वर्ब है, नॉलेज का वर्ब है, या थिंकिंग का वर्ब है, तो बंदा सामने वाला सोचेगा कि जब बंदे को एलो ही नहीं लिखने आते, लर्निंग आउटकम नहीं पता, लर्निंग ऑब्जेक्टिव नहीं लिखने आते, सो व्हाट विल ही डिलीवर. So I will suggest you to spend some time, go to few web articles or there on the learning objectives and go for Bloom's taxonomy. So you will find so many interesting things when you are writing the LOs. Then the delivery format, will it be a week wise, unit wise? As I said on SWAM, it is week wise. You release the course every week, and every week there are 2 to 3 modules that you have to release. Okay? Because we have the 15 weeks and we have to cover 40 modules. So on an average, 2 to 3 modules you will release every week, but you have to plan for this one, that for a particular week, 3 modules, 2 modules, you have to plan for this one. Then what is the list of the topics which you will cover? Then for each topic, here LOs are for your course, here the LOs are for your topics. Okay? That in this topic, what students will learn. Then list of the videos, how many videos you will prepare, what will be the title of the video that you will prepare. Then similarly, activity, quizzes, discussion forum, and additional readings. Right? So these are the important things that you have to include under instructional design when you're planning for your course. I'm just showing you one example of instructional design here, which we used for this introduction to social media marketing. Now you can see here everything is there. We have just uh, written about course description, their prerequisites, that what is required, and what are the learning outcomes for this course. Then every week what we will offer, and see here. Then we have the top week wise, that this is the first video will be on this one, what are the related activities, how it will be assessed, and what will be the discussion forum, topic of the discussion forum that is included. And similarly, we have included the readings, additional readings for this one. And same way for the week 2, what will be the content, what are the activities, then assessment and discussion forums, additional reading. So this way, if you want, I can share this template with you as well, so that you somewhere it can help you in designing your instructional design. Okay, so once your instructional design is okay, then you have to also select the course team. It's not a one-man army. I think you will be really in trouble if you think that everything I will do at my own. Don't make this blunder, right? Don't take that, okay, I will write, I will record, I will edit, everything I will do it. Don't do like this one. So you have to prepare a MOOC team for this one. And in the provisions, it is allowed. You can hire a content writer, you can hire a script writer, you can hire a reviewer. So it is allowed, and they will be paid for this one. They will be paid for this one. So first is the course coordinator. You are the course coordinator if you are applying for this one. Then you can have the content writer. You can also go for script writer. Then we have editing review. Okay. Then the UGC will pay for this one. UGC will pay for everyone, content writers, editing, these managers, those who will handle your portal. UGC will pay. I will show you that what is the composition of the budget when they will launch it. Okay, so team is ready. Now you have to submit the proposal. In the proposal, it's a standard time. If your instructional design is clear, then there is no problem in preparing the proposal submission, because actually they are asking for instructional design only, uh, along with your introduction video and a bit more things. So this is one that when you will submit the proposal, obviously you have to go to the CEC's website. There you have to submit your proposal. So you have to prepare the introduction video. It is same the way learning objectives are important, and similarly your introduction video is important. It is just a trailer of your course. पता होता है ना, ट्रेलर अच्छा होगा तो मूवी अच्छी होगी, मूवी जाते भी हैं, ट्रेलर को देख के ज़्यादा इम्प्रेस होते हैं लोग, बाकी बाद में मूवी कैसी है वो बाद में पता चलता है, बट ट्रेलर प्लेज एन इम्पॉर्टेंट रोल. तो ये जो आपकी कोर्स वीडियो है ये एक ट्रेलर ही है, एंड इट इज़ रिक्वायर्ड. ये आपके प्रपोजल के साथ यू हैव टू सबमिट इट, and you can record it in the studio. You can record it with your laptop cameras. It is up to you. They are not insisting that you have to record it in the studio only. So but what you should include in this one, that is more important. First is the duration. It is just 3 to 5 minutes only. Don't make it very big video, because then it will be boring. They will not watch this entire video. Just make a 3 to 5 minutes video in which you will slightly introduce to your topic, then how this course will be benefited to the learner, obviously the learning outcomes, your learning objectives, and how you are going to deliver this course. You can briefly talk about your topics and other, but plan it in such a way that it is just 3 to 5 minutes. You can wrap it up, right? And but it is you have to prepare the video from the learner's point of view, not from the expert's point of view. What does it mean? You need not to tell about yourself, that who am I, कि जी मैंने ये किया हुआ, ये क्यों है. You need not to mention it here. You just keep in mind that you are just you can say promoting your course to the learners so that they should join this course, right? It's not that you are promoting yourself. You should not talk about yourself in the introduction video much. You should only talk about the course. And you know that how to upload it on YouTube. You will upload it on YouTube, and you have to share the link of that video along with your proposal that you will submit. If you want the proposal, you just go to the CEC website. There is a template of a proposal. Just download it, and you can submit it there. But what are the formalities? As I said, there is a one formality which is required from the CEC or UGC side. They will ask you one certificate, and that certificate will be issued by the registrar of Punjab University, and they say 2 to 3 line certificate only. And this certificate is only about that we will assist the person in developing the course, and we will transfer the credits those who will complete this course. These are the only required things which are written there in that particular letter. So you can simply directly through your college principal, you can simply send it to the registrar, or see whether it's a DCDC or registrar. You have to check it. But I think it is for colleges, it is DCDC, or for university teacher registrar. Just confirm this one, okay, where you have to move your application. Okay, the online submission is there. You have to submit it online only after having that, because that certificate is very crucial. Without that certificate, they will not accept anything. You secure that certificate, the rest of the things are in your hand. You prepare it and submit it there. Okay, now आपने proposal submit किया, so they will ask you for the presentation, or because there is a gap, or they can ask you anything detail on your course. But once your course is approved, right, they will give you the green signal. Now, okay, from our side everything is okay, and they will give you the grant of 13.5 lakhs to develop this course, right? Not initially they will give you the 80%, sorry, uh, in the ratio of 80% and 20% later on, right? So just now our job is to start work on our course. क्योंकि पहले तो हमने बहुत बोल दिया ना कि ये करना है वो करना है, but this is the time once you will get the confirmation, then we have to start working on our course, because ultimately we have to produce the videos, we have to produce the content here. So for this purpose, we don't procrastinate on this one, because the moment you get it, you have to start working. If you will say no अभी 10 दिन बाद करेंगे, 15 दिन बाद करेंगे, so just immediate, because it will take a lot of time. Even it may take 7 to 8 months to record your course, right, or to produce your course. So you have to work immediately. So the very first thing that how should I record my course? See here, now you will take your instructional design, and it's clear.
मैंने खोल दिया, मैंने उसका ढक्कन खोला है.
Okay, can you mute yourself? Okay, now here, now course instructional design is with you. You will see what is my first video, second video. So the very first thing that you have to do, you have to understand in which format I will record the videos, right? Because there are different formats, and I will tell you which is the best format of recording of the videos. But usse pehle you have to have script writing, but I will talk about script writing in detail. But first understand this video format. आपने देखा होगा ना कई बार only presenter is there, वीडियो में और कुछ नहीं आ रहा, राइट? एक लेक्चर है, टीचर है, बस वो बोले जा रहा है और उसी से वो अपना सारा कंटेंट डिलीवर कर रहा है. बट दिस इज नॉट एक्सेप्टेबल. Even to the UGC, they will not accept it, this format of the video. Second is there एक presenter है, right? और PPT है. ये फॉर्मेट कैसा होता है कि ये आपकी स्क्रीन है, यहाँ पे आपकी PPT चल रही है इन दिस एरिया, और यहाँ पे कहीं आपका प्रेजेंटर बैठा हुआ है, राइट? ऐसे ये सारा PPT है इन दिस एरिया, और यहाँ पे आपका प्रेजेंटर है. ये है प्रेजेंटर प्लस PPT. तो दिस इज ओके if you are comfortable, but in this case, all the times you have to face the camera. If it is let us say half an hour video recording, then for half an hour you have to face the camera, because you are visible here, you have to be visible here in this format, right? So it means that sometimes for beginners it is difficult to face the camera, because I can deliver lecture very efficiently in my classrooms in front of my students, but if I'm there teaching to the camera only, then sometimes it becomes a bit difficult, but not impossible. Initially it is a challenging job, but later on you will be used to this one. But only drawback which I have seen in this format, that every time you have to be ready. Ready means you have to face the camera in this format. Now there is another better option which UGC law, or UGC rather recommended. UGC says presenter PPT plus presenter. In this case, what UGC says, in the very first 1 minute or 2 minutes, the presenter will be there, nothing else. He will introduce to the topic, कि क्या है, learning objectives क्या है, something like this one. And after this, there will be only the PPT. The presenter will not be there. Now only PPT will be there on screen. And he will deliver the lecture, complete the lecture, because it's a 7 to 8 minutes only. Then again at the end of the video, the presenter will be there, right? Presenter will also come back and again he will say something. Now what is the advantage of this format of recording? एक तो चीज ये होगी ना, हमारा जो मेजर पार्ट है वो निकल गया बीच में से. आई नीड नॉट टू फेस द कैमरा हियर. मेरे को जिस पढ़ाना है बच्चों को, आई विल फॉरगेट अबाउट द कैमरा, कि कैमरा मेरे को रिकॉर्ड कर रहा है. आपकी ऑडियो रिकॉर्ड हो रही है, कैमरे में आपने आना ही नहीं है इसमें, तो फ्री ऑफ माइंड आई कैन टीच फॉर 7 to 8 minutes. और दूसरा है कि आप ब्रेक्स में रिकॉर्ड कर सकते हो. आप इसको जब मर्जी रिकॉर्ड कर लो, जरूरी नहीं कि इसके इमीडिएटली आपने बाद ये शुरू करना है या उसके बाद ये शुरू करना है. तो व्हाट यूजली आई डू फॉर वन टॉपिक, पहले हम एक दिन में ये सारी आपकी जो फर्स्ट में आता है वो रिकॉर्डिंग कर ली, जो एंड में आता है वो रिकॉर्डिंग कर ली, और ये जो बीच वाली रिकॉर्डिंग है ये किसी दिन और की रिकॉर्डिंग. और बाद में जब एडिटिंग होती है तो ये फिट लाइक दिस वन की ये कॉन्टिन्यूशन में है, पहले वो ये पार्ट लगा देंगे, फिर ये लगा देंगे, फिर ये लगा देंगे, किसी को पता नहीं चलता कि ये 2 डिफरेंट डेज के ऊपर आपने रिकॉर्डिंग की है। कहने का मतलब आप एक दिन पूरा तैयार होके जाओ, बी रेडी फॉर द कैमरा, और आप वहाँ पे ये रिकॉर्डिंग करो, फर्स्ट पार्ट वाली, दिस वन एंड दिस वन, एंड वाली। बीच वाला पार्ट कोई ऐसा नहीं कि आपने बड़ा स्पेशल तैयार होना है, मेकअप करना है, कुछ नहीं है, तो इसमें फ्री ऑफ माइंड आपने वीडियो रिकॉर्डिंग करनी है यहाँ पर। right? तो ये फॉर्मेट आई थिंक इज द बेस्ट फॉर्मेट विच आई फाउंड here, which UGC also say that you can do it. Another is कई लोगों का PPTs नहीं होती तो they can use the screen recorder. This one only difference, instead of PPT the screen recorder will come. For example, computer के teachers हैं, because they have to record the screen what is required. Click on this one, click on this one, code like this one. So they can instead of the PPT they can put this screen recorder there. And again at the end of the, you can say, video, the presenter can again appear here. There are a few more objects depending upon different subjects, like in science practicals, then you have to presenter with objectives, you have to work. Sometimes for the mathematics teachers, you can also use the whiteboard, right? With the presenter or without the presenter, it can also be used like this one. Initially you come, then use the whiteboard, screen board, जो screen पे हम use करते हैं, the way I am using here, and then the presenter will come. So इसकी आपको knowledge होनी चाहिए, it's important, so that you can plan. आपको पता होगा कि मैंने एज ए प्रेजेंटर कितना बोलना है, एज ए प्रेजेंटर कितना बोलना है, और विदाउट कैमरा मैंने कितना बोलना है, बिकॉज यू हैव टू प्लान फॉर दिस वन. तो वहाँ पे आपके क्या यूजफुल होगा, यू हैव टू प्रिपेयर द स्क्रिप्ट लाइक दिस वन. स्क्रिप्ट में आपको ये थोड़ा प्लान कर सकते हो आप कि पहले प्रेजेंटर जाएगा, ये कंटेंट बोलना प्रेजेंटर ने, और स्क्रीन पे क्या जाएगा उस टाइम पे, ऑब्वियसली स्क्रीन पे प्रेजेंटर ही जाएगा, राइट. सो दिस वे यू कैन वर्क ऑन दिस वन. थोड़ा सा आपको आइडिया मिल जाएगा कि आपने डिवाइड कैसे करनी है द रिकॉर्डिंग ऑफ योर वीडियो. तो सिमिलरली मैं कहता हूँ इसको वीओ है, वीओ मीन्स वॉइस ओवर. यहाँ पे प्रेजेंटर इज नॉट देयर, ये मेरा कंटेंट है, और यहाँ पे मैं स्क्रीन पे पीपीटी चल रही है, कुछ आइकन चल रहे हैं, कुछ इमेजेस लगानी है, वो सारा आप यहाँ पे नोट डाउन कर सकते हैं. सो दिस इज द easy way to subdivide the recording of your videos. Okay. So it is see here, this is the UGC rule that in a single video the appearance of the presenter should be less than 20%. आप ऐसा नहीं कि बस आप गए, आपने बोल दिया कि अब मैंने लेक्चर देना शुरू कर दिया, आप रिकॉर्ड करते रहो. No, they are saying कि no, you can't be there in the video for more than 20% of the length of the video. You have to use the animation, you have to use the PPTs, you have to use images there. वो कहते हैं आप नहीं, हमें देखना चाहिए, आपकी ऑडियो आनी चाहिए, आप शुरू में आ जाओ, एंड में आ जाओ, बाकी चीज़ों में ये चीज़ रखो, राइट. जो आपकी ये कंटेंट है या वीडियो है, आप उसी को रखना है, राइट, लाइक स्लाइड वीडियोस, दिस काइंड ऑफ. ओके. सो अगेन इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स आपने कुछ रिक्वायर्ड हैं. Rather, I will suggest you should, because budget is there, UGC ने आपको बजट दिया, तो you should go for professional studio और वहीं पे जाकर रिकॉर्डिंग करोगे. बट अगर आप थोड़ा पहले फर्स्ट कोर्स बंदे को स्टूडियो में ही बनाना चाहिए, बिकॉज वो थोड़ा सीख लेता है कि स्टूडियो की कुछ टर्म्स हैं, या कैसे वो सेटिंग करते हैं, ग्रीन स्क्रीन क्या होती है, ये कैसे लगानी है, इसका यूज़ क्या होता है ग्रीन स्क्रीन का, तो उनका आपको थोड़ी बेसिक नॉलेज मिल जाती है स्टूडियो सेटिंग्स की. बट उसके बाद ये कोई जरूरी नहीं कि हमने स्टूडियो में जाके रिकॉर्डिंग करनी है, हम घर पे भी रिकॉर्डिंग कर सकते हैं, राइट. आजकल तो एवरीथिंग इज अवेलेबल, राइट. सो बट फर्स्ट टाइम यू शुड गो टू द स्टूडियो, ताकि आपको सारी चीज़ें क्लियर हो जाएं कि माइक है, किस टाइप का माइक यूज़ करना है, ये ट्राइपॉड की क्या इंपॉर्टेंस है, ग्रीन स्क्रीन क्यों लगाते हैं स्टूडियो में, दीज काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स. So these are the few software, even if you want to record it at home, the Camtasia is a software. Because my second course I recorded it at home only by using this Camtasia, right. Or this is another Loom, you can record with the Loom as well. So इसमें editing you can do it easily. Okay. ये थोड़ा डे आपका थोड़ा crucial day होता है when first time you are facing the camera, right. So इसमें एक चीज़ जो मैंने सीखी है वहाँ पे जाके कि ये कोई बहुत बड़ी बात नहीं है, ये कोई बड़ा चैलेंजिंग जॉब नहीं है कि कैमरे के सामने हमने रिकॉर्डिंग करनी है. शुरू में लगता है कि यार ये 2 बंदे खड़े हैं, कैमरा खड़ा है, तीसरा बस उसको हम टीच कर रहे हैं। आपने एक चीज़ दिमाग में बिठा लेनी है कि डेवलपमेंट ऑफ मूव कोर्स इज़ नॉट ए टीचिंग, इट्स एक्टिंग। जितना अच्छी एक्टिंग करोगे उतना अच्छा आपका कोर्स बनेगा। टीचिंग तो आप एक्सपर्ट हो, आपको नॉलेज है, लेकिन आप टीचिंग में कैमरे को थोड़ी मैं इसमें इट्स मोर ऑफ ए एक्टिंग इज ऑल्सो इन्वॉल्व। आपकी बॉडी लैंग्वेज, आप कैसे एक्सप्रेस कर रहे हो, वो सारी चीज़ें इसमें इन्वॉल्व होंगी। और ऐसा नहीं है कि ये बंदा ने एक बार बोलना शुरू कर दिया कि बस अब 15 मिनट या 7 मिनट वो बोलते ही रहेगा। इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट वे। ये मैंने बोला शॉर्ट चेंज ओवर, इसका आपको पता होना चाहिए कि शॉर्ट चेंज ओवर क्या होते हैं। शॉर्ट चेंज ओवर अब हो सकता है, आई एम नॉट क्वेश्चनिंग एनीबॉडीज एबिलिटी। कई लोग हैं जो कॉन्टिन्यूसली दे कैन स्पीक विदाउट एनी फंबल, बट यहाँ पे ये जो लोग खड़े हैं ये जो लोग खड़े हैं, दे आर नॉट टीचर्स, दे आर प्रोफेशनल्स। और उनको पता है कि वीडियो में क्या चीज़ होनी चाहिए एक अच्छी वीडियो में। हमें टीचर को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, अगर मैं फंबल भी कर जाऊँ, मैं रिपीट कर दूंगा उसको, कोई गलत होगी तो आई कैन करेक्ट इट, या मेरे फेस पे एक्सप्रेशन अच्छे नहीं है, या मैं थोड़ा स्माइलिंग फेस नहीं है, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, राइट। अब जब व्हेन वी आर इन ए क्लास, बट व्हेन वी आर इन स्टूडियो दीज पीपल विल स्टॉप यू। वो कहते नहीं जी, अगर इवन ए सिंगल फंबल इज देयर, वो कहते कि नहीं जी ये अब दोबारा से करो, इसको दोबारा करना पड़ेगा। अच्छा जी आपने थैंक यू बोल दिया, लेकिन थैंक यू आपने वो उतना अच्छा नहीं बोला, उसने उतनी एक्साइटमेंट से नहीं बोला, एनर्जी से नहीं बोला आपने, ऐसे लग रहा है जैसे थके हुए हो आप, राइट। तो बट क्योंकि इनको अपनी लाइन पता है, हमें अपनी लाइन पता है, तो मैंने फिर इनसे पूछा कि व्हाट इज द सोल्यूशन। इसमें कॉन्टिन्यूसली फंबल हो जाता है बीच में, ठीक है, आपकी आई शिफ्टिंग हो जाती है, कभी आप इधर उधर देखना शुरू कर देते, जरूरी थोड़ी है कि मैं ऑल द टाइम आई विल लुक इनटू द कैमरा। मैं पढ़ा ही नहीं सकता इफ आई विल लुक इनटू डायरेक्टली इनटू द कैमरा। जब तक मैं नीचे ऊपर थोड़ा इधर उधर नहीं देखूंगा तो मेरे थॉट्स नहीं आते हैं हमारे एज ए टीचर हमारे माइंड में। सो बट ये कहते कोई बात नहीं, आप ऐसे करो, 1 मिनट बोल सकते हो। मैं कहा बिल्कुल बोल सकते हैं हम 1 मिनट इन फ्रंट ऑफ कैमरा। वो कहते बस ठीक है, आप 1 मिनट बोलो, उसके बाद जो बोलना आपने बोल दो 1 मिनट में, 2 लाइन बोलो, 3 लाइन बोलो, देन 1 लाइन बोलने के बाद स्टॉप। वो क्या कर रहे हैं कि वो कहते हैं कि जी एक जो शॉट है आपका, हम पूरा क्लोज शॉट अप लेंगे, यहाँ पे क्लोज शॉट लेंगे फर्स्ट वाला, राइट, जिसमें आपने 1 मिनट के लिए ही बोलना है, या जितना मैक्सिमम आप बोल सकते हो 1-2 मिनट्स के लिए, विदाउट एनी प्रॉब्लम, विदाउट एनी फंबल। आफ्टर दिस वो कहते हैं देन स्टॉप। उसके बाद क्या होगा, दे चेंज द शॉट। वो इसको कोई शॉट और ले लेते हैं, लॉन्ग ले लेते हैं, या थोड़ा आपको डिफरेंट वे में दिखाते हैं, जिससे बड़ा क्लोजअप दिखाते हैं और इसमें बड़ा डिस्टेंस से दिखाते हैं आपको। देखने वाले को तो ऐसे ही लगता है कि पहले मैं यहाँ बोल रहा हूँ, यहाँ बोल रहा हूँ, लेकिन ये बीच में गैप बड़ा होता है इसमें, राइट। गैप इन द सेंस कि ये मैंने लग बोला है, ये चीज़ लग बोली है। तो वो कहते हैं जी आप आपकी मर्जी, आप जैसे कंफर्टेबल आपको लग रहा है, आप हम उतने शॉर्ट चेंज कर लेंगे। एक हम लॉन्ग शॉर्ट में लेंगे, क्लोजअप लेंगे, दूसरा हम लॉन्ग शॉट में लेंगे, सो दैट आपको कोई प्रॉब्लम इसमें। मेरे को इतना होता है कि जब ये ठीक हो गया मेरा, आई एम श्योर कि इतना पार्ट तो सही हो गया ना, इसमें तो कोई फंबल नहीं है। अगर इसमें कोई फंबल हो गया, कुछ हो गया, देन आई विल री रिकॉर्ड इट। बट अदरवाइज आप 5 मिनट का कॉन्टिन्यूसली बोलोगे, दे विल से ओके 5 मिनट में अगर 2 बार फंबल हो गया तो वो कहेंगे कट, 5 मिनट का आप दोबारा से रिकॉर्ड करो। तो ये स्टूडियो की लिमिटेशन है, जो एज ए टीचर हमें ज़्यादा पसंद नहीं है, बट वो अपना बिजनेस देखते हैं, जब बिजनेस नहीं, वो अपनी उनको ये चीज़ अच्छी लगती है कि हमारी वीडियो जब बनाते हैं तो उसमें कोई टेक्निकल इशू नहीं होना चाहिए, टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लम नहीं होनी चाहिए, है। तो ये कोई बहुत बड़ी चीज़ नहीं है। आप उनको बोलना कि शॉर्ट चेंज के हिसाब से यू कैन जस्ट हैव डिफरेंट शॉट्स, तो मैं उसको पार्ट्स में बोल दूंगा और आई कैन रिकॉर्ड इट। और जब कैमरा में फेस नहीं कर रहा फिर तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, आप 2 बार बोलो, 3 बार बोलो, आप रिपीट कर लो चीज़ों को, वो एडिटिंग में सारा निकल जाएगा। जो अनवांटेड पार्ट होता है वो एडिटिंग में निकल जाता है, बट वीडियो में नहीं निकलता वो पार्ट। ओके, सो जब आपकी रिकॉर्डिंग होगी देन एडिटिंग इज अनदर फेस। अब एडिटिंग इज द फाइनल और फिनिश्ड प्रोडक्ट वट एवर यू हैव रिकॉर्डेड। रिकॉर्डिंग के टाइम पे, अब एडिटिंग के टाइम पे आपकी पीपीटी सेट कैसे करनी है, कुछ एनिमेशन डालने हैं, आइकन डालने हैं, आपकी ऑडियो की थोड़ी करेक्शन करनी है, तो एवरीथिंग दैट हैपन्स इन द एडिटिंग, एडिटिंग टेबल। तो ये भी एक इम्पॉर्टेंट पार्ट है। तो इसमें शुरू शुरू में हमें बैठना पड़ता है एडिटर के साथ, सो दैट उन्हें पता चल जाए कि व्हाट वी एग्जैक्टली वांट, हमें बताना पड़ता है उसको, बिकॉज दे आर नॉट फ्रॉम टीचिंग लाइन। वो तो मैरिजेस की मूवी बना देंगे और मूवीज बना सकते हैं, बट उनको नहीं पता कि टीचिंग में हमें क्या चाहिए एट मोमेंट। जब मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ तो उस टाइम स्क्रीन पे क्या आना चाहिए, शुरू शुरू में हम बताते हैं उसको, बाद में दे आर ऑल्सो ट्रेन, वो अपने आप ही सारा कुछ लगा देंगे, राइट। सो ये था दिस अबाउट द वीडियो एडिटिंग। देन इज द होस्टिंग। तो ऐसे करके ये आपने शेड्यूल बनाना है कि कब रिकॉर्डिंग करनी है, कितने दिन कितनी रिकॉर्डिंग करनी है, इट इज़ ऑल अप टू यू, राइट। सो बाद फर्स्ट वीक थोड़ा क्रूशियल होता है, उसके बाद वो चीज़ें रूटीन में आप रिकॉर्डिंग करते रहते हो। वंस योर कोर्स इज रिकॉर्डेड, तो इसको होस्ट कहाँ पे करना है, कहाँ पे भेजना है ये कोर्स। ये ऐसा नहीं कि आपने यूजीसी को भेज दिया और वो होस्ट करेंगे, ये होस्ट हमें ही करना है। यूजीसी हमें एक प्लेटफॉर्म का स्वयं का कह लो वो पासवर्ड दे देंगे एंड वी हैव टू होस्ट दिस कोर्स देयर। तो बहुत सारे प्लेटफॉर्म्स हैं, बट एज आई सेड यूजीसी और सीईसी वाले दे यूज द स्वयं प्लेटफॉर्म, वी हैव टू होस्ट इट ऑन देयर। बट अगर आप कोई अपने कॉलेज के लिए कोर्स बना रहे हैं एक्सक्लूसिवली, तो आप मूडल को यूज़ कर सकते हो, टीचेबल को यूज़ कर सकते हो, या यूट्यूब में और उडेमी को यूज़ कर सकते हो। बट यूजीसी सीईसी इट्स ऑलवेज ऑन स्वयं प्लेटफॉर्म। कुछ नहीं होता उसमें, हमने वीडियोस अपलोड करनी होती हैं और कंटेंट क्विजेज वगैरह सारा कुछ वी हैव टू प्रिपेयर देयर। तो होस्टिंग इज देयर। अब आपने प्रमोट भी करना कोर्स को, बिकॉज रजिस्ट्रेशन आर मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट। जितनी आप इसको प्रमोट करोगे तो उतनी आपकी रजिस्ट्रेशन आएंगी, क्योंकि जो कंप्लीशन रेट है मूव कोर्सेज का इट्स वेरी लो, इट्स जस्ट अराउंड 10% और लेस देन 10%। मतलब आपने 100 लोग ज्वाइन करोगे, ठीक है, तो उसमें 10 लोग ही पास करेंगे, उसको पास नहीं कंप्लीट करेंगे, क्योंकि फ्री है कोर्सेज, तो सारे लोग कर लेते हैं ज्वाइन, फ्री है जी, क्लिक ही करना, तो जस्ट ज्वाइन इट। सो बट कंप्लीट उसको ओनली 10%। ये ऐसा नहीं कि हमारा कोर्स खराब है, ये वर्ल्ड वाइड फिनोमिना ही यही है कि मूव कोर्सेज का कंप्लीशन रेट इज अराउंड 10%, इतना की ही रहता है। सो इट मीन्स कि जब मैं कहता हूँ कि मेरे ज़्यादा बच्चे कोर्स कंप्लीट करें, तो वी हैव टू इंक्रीज दिस नंबर हियर। जितने ज़्यादा नंबर यहाँ पे लेके आओगे तो उतनी ज़्यादा चांसेस हैं कि लोग आपका कंप्लीट करेंगे परसेंटेज के हिसाब से। तो यू हैव टू प्रमोट इट। प्रमोट आप अपनी इंट्रोडक्शन वीडियो बनाइए, आप उसको यूट्यूब पे डाल सकते हो, फेसबुक, डिफरेंट डिफरेंट प्लेटफॉर्म्स यू कैन यूज़ फॉर प्रमोशन ऑफ योर कोर्सेज, या सोशल मीडिया के ऊपर कुछ आप पोस्ट हैं वो डाल सकते हो उससे रिलेटेड, राइट। बट उसमें एक चीज़ हाईलाइट जरूर करना कि ये कोर्स फ्री है, राइट, फ्री है, वो ज़्यादा थोड़ा अट्रैक्ट करता है आपकी हेडलाइन में, या न्यूज़पेपर वगैरह में यू कैन जस्ट। आपको पता है कि मैक्सिमम जितने व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप्स हैं कहीं पर भी है, आपको वेयर एवर यू थिंक दैट यू कैन कनेक्ट विद योर ऑडियंस, एंड यू शुड शेयर द लिंक ऑफ योर कोर्स सो दैट अदर्स कैन ज्वाइन इट। अब इसके बाद आपका कोर्स शुरू होगा वहाँ पे। सो जैसे ही शुरू होगा, इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि अब आप रिलैक्स हो जाओगे। इवन फॉर द नेक्स्ट 15 वीक्स अगेन यू हैव टू बी ऑन टोज। मीन्स दैट के यू विल सी द वेरी फर्स्ट डे आपकी क्वेरीज आएंगी। अगर आपकी क्वेरीज को आप रिस्पॉन्ड करोगे तो बच्चे और क्वेरीज पूछेंगे, बट अगर नहीं करोगे तो देन देयर विल बी नो क्वेरी। सेम थिंग हमारे क्लासेस में भी ऐसा ही होता है। अगर बच्चे ने फर्स्ट डे क्वेरी पूछी, टीचर ने रिप्लाई किया, तो बच्चा नेक्स्ट डे पूछेगा और भी पूछेगा। अगर बच्चे ने एक बार पूछा, आपने रिप्लाई नहीं किया, सेकंड बार ही पूछा, नहीं रिप्लाई किया, तो थर्ड टाइम बच्चा पूछेगा ही नहीं आपसे। सेम थिंग इज हियर। अगर आपने ड्यूरिंग द डिलीवरी ऑफ द कोर्स क्वेरीज, डिस्कशन फोरम आप नहीं मैनेज कर रहे, तो स्टूडेंट्स विल लूज द इंटरेस्ट इन योर कोर्स, no matters how quality MOOC is having you. So you have to involve, you have to be very active under these discussion forums. इसके लिए आपको TAs मिलते हैं। TAs आप 2 TAs रख सकते हो, राइट। TAs को आप थोड़ा ट्रेन कर सकते हो कि जितनी डिस्कशन फोरम के ऊपर क्वेरीज आती हैं आपने उनको हैंडल कैसे करना है, मैनेज कैसे करना है, तो यू कैन जस्ट ट्रेन देम। इसके लिए यूजीसी पे करता है अलग से, आई थिंक 20,000 फॉर ए कोर्स यूजीसी आपको पे करेगा इसके लिए। तो ये ड्यूरिंग डिलीवरी है, ये इसके लिए जाने की अभी ज़रूरत नहीं है, वो ये एक्चुअल टेम्पलेट है यहाँ पे कोर्स आपका अपलोड होता है। सो अभी तो ये काफ़ी दूर की बात है, राइट। So but there are few important things that you should remember. I think this is my last slide and we are close to the end of the session as well. So एक चीज़ बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट है, यूजीसी आपसे बिना पूछे या सीईसी आपसे बिना पूछे आपका कोर्स होस्ट नहीं करेगी। यूजीसी आपसे पहले पूछेगी कि आर यू रेडी टू ऑफर द कोर्स फ्रॉम नेक्स्ट सेमेस्टर, क्योंकि इसमें 2 सेमेस्टर में ऑफर होता है, आइदर यू कैन गो फॉर जुलाई सेमेस्टर और यू कैन गो फॉर जनवरी सेमेस्टर। तो यूजीसी आपसे पूछेगी कि आर यू रेडी टू ऑफर योर कोर्स, कि हमने आपको फंडिंग की है, ये आपका कितना कोर्स बन गया कि आप जुलाई में ऑफर कर सकते हो। अगर आपका 50% कोर्स कंटेंट रेडी है, ओनली देन से यस। अगर आप, क्योंकि बाकी आप 50% डिलीवरी, जब ये फर्स्ट वीक चल रहा है, सेकंड चल रहा है, तो उस टाइम भी आप बना सकते हो कोर्स, लेकिन अगर आपका 50% रेडी नहीं है देन डोंट से यस, क्योंकि इसमें आई नो कि कितना डिफिकल्ट होगा वो, अगर आपने अभी 2-3 हफ्ते का काम बनाया और आपने बोल दिया यस कि बाकी का ड्यूरिंग द कोर्स बना लेंगे, तो देन यू विल बी इन ट्रबल, राइट? सो बट यूजीसी विल ऑलवेज आस्क कि आपने कब शुरू करना है कोर्स, राइट? सो ये बड़ी सिंपल सी चीज़ है। शुरू शुरू में थोड़ी प्रॉब्लम आती है कैमरा में, so failure is part of the life which we learn from those failures only. So ये सीख जाएगा बंदा। आजकल तो हम आई थिंक वैसे ही सारा टाइम ऑनलाइन रहते हैं, कैमरे के सामने रहते हैं, तो इट्स नॉट गोइंग टू बी बिग प्रॉब्लम। सो यस, कई लोगों को लगता है कि ड्रेस की कोई ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस नहीं होती, कई लोगों को लगता होगा, बट ये इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज़ है, पार्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट है आपकी। व्हेनेवर प्रेजेंटर इज देयर तो ही शुड बी प्रॉपरली वेल ड्रेस्ड, राइट? अदरवाइज आप चले जाओगे, स्टूडियो वाला नहीं एंटर करने देगा आपको, राइट? स्टूडियो बोलेगा मैंने अपना नाम खराब नहीं करना, तो यू शुड बी वेल ड्रेस्ड, सो एक्सेप्ट लाइट मेकअप इवन बोथ फॉर मेल एंड फीमेल। देन चॉइस ऑफ द स्टूडियो, आप किस स्टूडियो में रिकॉर्डिंग कर रहे हो, दैट मैटर्स अ लॉट। उसके बंदे कौन से हैं, क्या वो फ्रेंडली हैं आपके साथ, तो बन रही है उनकी कम्युनिकेट प्रॉपर हो रहा है या नहीं हो रहा है। क्योंकि ये चीज़ इसलिए मैं कह रहा हूँ, मान लो आपने रिकॉर्डिंग के टाइम 3 या 4 रीटेक लिए, रीटेक आपने बार बार उसी को बोल रहे हो, उसी चीज़ को। अगर मान लो वो स्टूडियो वाला बंदा इरिटेट हो गया, राइट, और उसने बोल दिया कि क्या कर रहे हो यार, आप टीचर हो, ठीक है, आप इसको कर भी लो, इतना ही बोल दिया अगर यार इसको फाइनल भी कर लो आप, तो यू सी जो आपका कॉन्फिडेंस है वो इमीडिएटली इट विल गो डाउन। अगर इतना ही बोल दिया कि यार इसको कंप्लीट भी कर लो, क्यों रीटेक करी जा रहे हो बार बार, ठीक है? तो आपके ये क्रू मेंबर ऐसे होने चाहिए, दोज हु आर सपोर्टिव। आप बात को अंडरस्टैंड कर रहे हैं, ऐसा नहीं कि वो 2-3 शॉट के बाद वो कहेंगे कि जी हम तो इरिटेट हो गए, आप कंप्लीट करो इसको, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए। तो ये आपकी ड्यूरिंग इंट्रोडक्शन वीडियो में ही आपको पता चल जाएगा कि हाउ आर द बिहेविंग, कैसा होगा। Rest a deadline is important, and be active on the SWAM forum, which is important thing. So I think I talk a lot about these online courses. थोड़ा सा मैंने आपको बताया भी है कि क्या क्या चीज़ें हैं डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द मूव कोर्सेज, बट यू विल एक्चुअली लर्न व्हेन यू विल डेवलप योर ओन कोर्स, राइट? तो वहाँ पे बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं जो सीखने को मिलेंगी, बट स्टिल इफ यू हैव एनी प्रॉब्लम यू कैन टॉक टू मी एज फॉर एनीथिंग, एनी प्रपोजल सबमिशन है, आपने उसको चेक करवाना है, videos हैं, कुछ भी, anything related to the MOOC, if you want any kind of assistance from my side, right, then I am always ready, right? But you have to start from somewhere, you have to start from somewhere. So I will end my this presentation. So if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. राइट, आई थिंक दिस मैसेज इज क्लियर कि जितना काम कर सकते हो, जितना कर सकते हो, वी शुड डू दिस वन, राइट? बिकॉज अल्टीमेटली वी आर गोइंग टू सर्व आवर सोसाइटी. Because I always think that as a teacher, if I fail to serve my society, then what is the use of being a teacher, right? So that is why you have to get out of your comfort zone, so that whatever knowledge you have to share it with others. And MOOC, there cannot be a better platform than the MOOCs that you can share your knowledge with the outer world. So with these words, thank you so much, and thank you so much for inviting me and to interact with you, and I hope you will take the call on this one. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you so much, sir. That was indeed a wonderful session. Thank you so much, sir, for highlighting us about the MOOCs and the process involved with it. We will definitely utilize the information that we have gathered today from you, sir. So, sir, with your permission, can I ask for the queries from our participants?
Sure.
Okay. So I request the participants to unmute yourself and ask for your queries if you have any. Participants, those who have queries regarding MOOCs, can unmute themselves and ask for the queries directly. I think you have explained so well, sir. So there are no queries left with us.
ये
But
तो लग रहा है कि पार्टिसिपेंट डर गए हैं कि इतना काम करना पड़ेगा, है ना?
नहीं, in fact, मैं तो आपको अभी बहुत सारा तंग करने वाली हूँ personally. मेरे को तो बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिला है, तो मैं तो बिल्कुल, आप कहोगे कि ये तो पीछे पड़ गई है।
No issue, no issue. Most welcome. है ना?
हाँ जी सर, I think there are no queries, sir, because you have explained so well about the construction of the course, about the designing, about the pre-stage, post-stage, and then how to promote, how to deliver the course, everything you have explained so well. So there are no queries, I guess. And we are getting thank you messages from our participants, sir. So now I invite Dr. Leena Gupta to formally thank our keynote speaker and all the participants. Ma'am. Ma'am, your voice is not reaching to us. Leena, ma'am. Yes, it's audible now, sir.
I, on the behalf of the college, would like to formally thank Dr. Tejinder Pal Singh Sir, Associate Professor, UBS, Punjab University, Chandigarh, for such an informative session on Introduction to Massive Open Learning Courses. Sir, you have very well explained through your presentations how to design MOOCs courses and made easy for us to develop these courses in future. These courses are really beneficial for us and for our students. Learning becomes simple and easy through these MOOCs courses. Course designing becomes easy after your guidance through this workshop. I also pay my heartfelt gratitude to our chairman, Sir Shriman Nirmal Singh Dhillonji, and our madam, Dr. Agnes Dhillonji, Secretary and Principal, Dev Samaj College, 36 Chandigarh, Principal Madam, Dr. Meena Chopra, our Financial Advisor Madam, Dr. Jaspal Kaur, for always guiding us and inspiring us to organize such workshops. I would also like to thank all the participants of the workshop for their wholehearted participation in the event. I would also like to thank the organizing team, Dr. Nisha Singla, Dr. Komal, and myself, Mrs. Leena, for organizing such a workshop with their effort. Hopes all will join these courses, surely be benefited for the same. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I request all the participants to kindly turn on their videos for a group photograph. Kindly turn on your videos. Is it done, Komal ma'am?
I am taking, ma'am, once a minute.
Kindly keep your videos on. We are taking the photographs. We are taking the screenshots. Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable time today. We have learned a lot and we will be definitely